Avatar: The Last Airbender has a huge cast of exceptionally well-written characters. I've always loved these characters, but now that I've read and watched several guides on how to write characters, I can appreciate them even more. In this video, I want to dissect a redemption arc based on 4 elements that should always be utilized when it comes to character development: the want, the need, the lie, and the ghost. If you have not watched Avatar: The Last Airbender and somehow managed to avoid spoilers, that's impressive, and I don't want to mess with you. So here's your spoiler warning for Avatar: The Last Airbender. Okay, so if you're still here, you know who I'm gonna talk about. The best redemption arc in TV history. You guessed it, Zuko's arc. But before I talk about Zuko, I want to mention another character that popped into my mind when I wondered whose redemption arc I should dissect for this video. Okay, who am I kidding? It was always gonna be Zuko. But yeah, I like Darth Vader. He was a great tragic villain. But I'm gonna have to use his redemption as a negative example compared to Zuko when it comes to redemption arcs. Vader's redemption didn't carry the same weight as Zuko's in Avatar: The Last Airbender because, well, the redemption by self-sacrifice is kinda cheap. I'm sorry, I know the guy gave his life to save his son, but if the only good redeeming thing you do is kill the only guy who has done worse than you, that doesn't really make it even. Vader didn't really do anything to atone for his sins aside from dying. Honestly, by that point, I don't think that the character was redeemable anymore, which is why the only way to give him some kind of redemption was by making him sacrifice his life. It worked for this character. Don't get me wrong, Vader was a great character, but this wasn't a great redemption arc. Part of the reason why Zuko's arc is so much more popular with its audience is because he is much more redeemable in the first place and doesn't take the shortcut to a glorious death. The other reason is that his character arc is well written in general. In her book on character arcs, Kay Whelan talks a lot about the importance of several elements when it comes to writing characters: the want, the need, the lie, and the ghost. After I read that book, I could see why Zuko's arc worked so well, because his want, need, lie, and ghost were established early on and utilized beautifully in the story. In other words, Zuko had a real positive change arc, while Vader, not so much. Okay, but why did his want, need, lie, and ghost make Zuko's arc so great? I didn't have to take out a psychology textbook to know what Zuko's want was, because, well, he made it pretty clear what it was.
Once I deliver the Avatar to my father, he will welcome me home with honor. Their honor didn't hinge on the Avatar's capture. Mine does. I don't need any calming tea! I need to capture the Avatar!
Generally, the want can be basically anything, but usually it manifests in a plot goal. Zuko's want is to get his honor back and redeem himself in his father's eyes. But while that's still a broad statement, so his plot-related want is to capture the Avatar. The want is usually tied to the lie. The lie is defined as something that the character believes to be true and holds them back. The lie Zuko believes is that he should be more like his sister Azula, who is almost perfect at anything she does, and therefore favored by their father. Ozai made that pretty clear when he says that Azula was born lucky and Zuko was lucky to be born. Wow, Parent of the Year award! Hence, Zuko was made to believe that Azula's qualities, being ruthless, ambitious, and composed, are more valuable than his own character traits, being compassionate, a little naive, and clumsy. His mother finds these qualities endearing about Zuko, but she disappears from his life far too early, and this part of positive reinforcement is gone. As is normal for a child, Zuko wants to please his parents. However, now the parent that he could please by being who he really is gone. But pleasing his father is much more difficult for him, and then it happens. He speaks up in the military meeting out of compassion for recruits he doesn't even know. But this doesn't earn him any favors. Quite the contrary. He soon gets punished for speaking up. As punishment, Zuko is maimed and banished by his own father. Yep, that guy definitely earned that parenting award. This leaves a deep trauma in Zuko and serves as his ghost. A ghost is another important element in character development. The ghost is a traumatic event that enforced the lie in the character. Like in this instance, after getting maimed by his father, Zuko now believes that being kind is just a sign of weakness. And this weakness robbed him of his honor. He should have been more ruthless like his sister. Okay, so now we have the lie, ghost, and want. But the most important and most difficult to write in my opinion is still missing: the need. While capturing the Avatar is what Zuko wants, it is definitely not what he needs. This is made clear by the mentor character of his uncle Iroh.
I know my own destiny, Uncle.
Is it your own destiny? Or is it a destiny someone else has tried to force on you?
Stop it, Uncle. I have to do this.
I'm begging you, Prince Zuko. It's time for you to look inward and begin asking yourself the big questions. Who are you? And what do you want?
Zuko's need is to realize that his father is a cruel dictator and his sister a manipulative maniac. Or as Iroh put it,
I know what you're gonna say. She's my sister and I should be trying to get along with her.
No, she's crazy and she needs to go down.
Zuko's need is not to capture the Avatar, but to realize that what his family and his entire nation is doing is wrong, and that he as the crown prince of all people needs to stop it. He needs to acknowledge the good qualities his mother installed in him and Iroh tried to nurture. But at first he holds firm onto his want to capture the Avatar and believes it will solve all his problems. So he pursues this goal relentlessly. Over time, Iroh's influence and the events of the show start to make him a better person, or rather, turn him back into the kind of person he was before he started believing in the lie. That his compassion makes him weaker and less admirable than his sister Azula. After being accused of treason, Zuko and Iroh have to hide from the Fire Nation in the Earth Kingdom for a while, and Zuko gets to see another perspective. Because of this, he starts to realize that what the Fire Nation is doing isn't just to bring progress and prosperity to the world. By living amongst those who suffered under the actions of the Fire Nation, he regains a lot of his former empathy. It seems like he is on an upward path to becoming a better person. But when push comes to shove, he is not capable to let go of the lie yet. He decides to side with his sister to go against the Avatar and even his uncle, resulting in Aang nearly dying and Iroh getting thrown in prison as a Fire Nation traitor. Because Azula let Zuko claim that he killed the Avatar, he gets everything he wanted. His father is proud of him for the first time, and he gets his position as Crown Prince back. Everything is as it should be. But is it? Now that he got his wand, Zuko realizes that this is not what he really wanted. He still feels empty and angry. Actually, angrier than ever. The supposed victory feels hollow. Finally, the lie starts to dawn on him. The emotional backlash of this terribly wrong decision he made in Ba Sing Se at the end of Season 2 hits him as he realizes that he betrayed the one person who always supported him, his uncle Iroh. Instead of honor, he now feels intense guilt and shame. He sees the error in his ways and repents in the rest of Season 3 for his previous actions. He apologizes to Team Avatar, saves him from a killer. Okay, one he hired himself, but you gotta start somewhere. Then he helps Sokka save his father, helps Katara to track down the man who killed her mother, and becomes Aang's firebending teacher. Of all people, he gets Team Avatar, the guys who suffered the most under his previous actions, to forgive him, because he puts in the effort over a long time. In the end, he even takes up a crucial role in the battle against the Fire Nation against his own family. He is even willing to sacrifice his life to save Katara from Azula. If he died in that fight, the ending of the series would have been real tragic, but I don't think it would have made Zuko's arc any more powerful, because after defeating the Fire Lord and Azula, the real work is only getting started. As a new Fire Lord, Zuko needs to change the entire nation, make them see that what happened in the past was wrong, even though Fire Nation propaganda told them otherwise for at least the past 100 years. So Zuko will need to do a better job than his predecessors at ruling. And honestly, it really would have irked me if he died. I mean, his arc showed beautifully that a person can redeem themselves. Let them have a happy ending as a reward, come on. Over the course of the story, Zuko grew as a character from an angry, cornered teenager to a calm and compassionate man. And his arc is so damn satisfying because only after doing what he needed to do, he finally got what he so desperately wanted. His honor. But are want, need, lie, and ghost the only things you need to consider when writing a redemption arc? No, as I said at the beginning of this video, Darth Vader didn't have enough redeeming qualities in him on the one hand, and on the other hand already did too terrible things to make a redemption arc like the one of Zuko possible. Zuko's redemption arc worked so well because the writers had shown Zuko to be capable of this change. A great choice was to put Uncle Iroh at his side, because why should a nice guy like Uncle Iroh be at Zuko's side if he didn't see the potential in him to become a good person? And the audience got to see early on that Zuko indeed had good qualities, even though they were overshadowed by his bad actions at first. For instance, in the second episode, when Aang promised to come with Zuko if he would leave Katara's and Sokka's village in peace. Zuko keeps his word and leaves the village without wreaking any more havoc. I know this is a really low bar, but imagine if he was a great guy right from the start. Then this redemption arc would have taken 3 episodes, not 3 seasons. Over the course of the first season, Zuko often has to make choices between wanting to capture the Avatar and doing the right thing. Like not endangering his crew in a storm just to capture Aang, or save his uncle from earthbending headhunters instead of following the Avatar. At the same time, he still does terrible things like burn down Kyoshi village. He always makes good and bad choices. So the audience knows he is capable of doing the right thing, and we keep hoping that he will finally stop making the wrong decisions. But when he finally starts to make more and more good decisions, he suddenly makes a 180 on his character development, and makes one terrible decision at the end of Season 2, when he almost kills Aang and betrays his uncle in Ba Sing Se. This moment was so powerful and jarring because we thought he had finally figured it out, but he obviously did not. Not yet, at least. In her book on character arcs, K.M. Weiland says that as a writer, you should give your character what they wanted, only to make them realize that it doesn't make them happy like they thought it would. This will then prompt the character to realize what is really important, and have them realize the lie they believed in to be just that, a lie. At this moment, they finally realize the truth and only then start to really change. The 15 story beats of Save the Cat say a similar thing, that before real character change can happen, there needs to be a false victory or false defeat. That's just what happened to Zuko. He thought he got what he wanted. Him defeating the Avatar was not only a false victory because Aang wasn't really dead, but also because this isn't a true victory for Zuko. In his heart, Zuko knows that this isn't what he should have done. This was not a victory. This was him losing to the lie still nesting in his heart. Only once he realizes that, does he finally start to really make up for the sins he committed. He works really hard and makes good choices from there on. At the end, he even chooses to sacrifice himself to save Katara. I know a lot of people wanted Zutara to be a thing, and I agree that they did have chemistry, but I'm glad the writers didn't make them a couple, not just for poor Aang's sake. Especially this moment when Zuko jumps in front of Katara to shield her from Azula's attack. It was so much more powerful because she was not his love interest. He did it to save a friend and actually the one person on Team Avatar who he was most at odds with. So yeah, because Zuko had the potential to be a good guy and sometimes committed at least small redeeming acts right from the start, his redemption arc was not only believable, but also really satisfying in the end. Okay, so to sum it up, what are the essentials of a well-written redemption arc? First, give your character a lie they believe in. And give them a powerful ghost, which is the reason they believe in that lie. The more powerful that ghost, the harder it will be for them to let go of the lie. Make their want be something that resulted from this lie. But also give them something they need. Only when they get what they needed will they realize that the lie is a lie and find their truth instead. But let them get what they wanted before they learn what they need to learn. Right at the beginning, you should show the audience that this person is redeemable. Let them make good choices right at the start, but let the bad choices overshadow them. Just when it looks like the character is going to become one of the good guys, make him revert to their old self for a short time and let them get what they wanted as a result. And then make them realize that getting what they wanted turned out to be a false victory. Most importantly, make them work hard for their redemption. The good actions need to at least balance out the bad stuff they did in the past. Alright, so there you have it. This is what I think makes a good redemption arc after studying what makes a good positive change arc in general and applying all that to the character of Zuko. I hope I could show you in this video why I think that Zuko is one of the best written characters I ever saw put to screen. If you want to read more on developing character arcs, I highly recommend K.M. Weiland's book on creating character arcs, as well as Save the Cat Writes a Novel by Jessica Brody. So what did you think about Zuko's arc? Did you like it or feel like it's overhyped? Whatever your opinion, I hope you enjoyed this character analysis. I am a very character-focused reader, and analyzing why certain characters work and others don't is a lot of fun for me. But it also helps me to understand how to craft my own characters. If you want to create your own characters too, I hope this video was of help to you. If it did help you, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in future videos on how to write characters. Anyway, farewell.